Hey guys, I want to talk about something that I've mentioned a lot lately, but I haven't really gone into in much detail. And that is, I've said I'm about as strong as I ever want to be in like almost all of my lifts. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about my reason for this because I never really specified that. I just want to say that I got the idea for this decades ago. Okay, when I was reading a fitness magazine back in the 90s, and basically what it was is like an editorial or something where the guy was saying that when he was in college, he was like a national level Olympic weightlifter. You know, the guys who pick weight up off the ground, throw it up over their heads, and stand up with it. Okay, they use a lot of weight. I remember the 4 minute mile of Olympic weightlifting was when like a Russian or Soviet back then person lifted 500 pounds over his head. So that's a lot of weight to throw up, catch over your head, and then stand up with it over your head. And what this guy basically said is, number one, years later, he's starting to have problems with his back. And number two, he doesn't think the human body was intended to take several hundred pounds, throw it up over your head, and stand up with it. Okay? A similar thought kind of came up a little bit ago in Stan Efferding's Rhino rants. Okay, I really wish he would start the Rhino rants on YouTube. I love them. Like almost every single Rhino rant is awesome. But anyway, what he talked about in one of his Rhino rants was like, if you want to be healthy, don't compete. He talks about how pushing your body to the absolute limit to compete with other people who are pushing their body to the absolute limit is just inherently going to break your body down. So if you want to compete, know you're going to hurt yourself at some point, know you're going to suffer because of it, and if you want to be healthy and safe, don't compete. Okay, so what happened now is I'm 45 years old now. I've added weights to my calisthenics, like let's say a year and a half, not quite 2 years ago. And I've gotten what I have to admit is like really damn strong right now. I'm very strong. I feel good. I feel that I look good. Okay. And it's starting to think to myself, okay, what about longevity? At what point is strong enough? And at what point is strong enough too strong? And what I basically mean is like, at what point is squatting, deadlifting, weighted push-ups on rings, weighted dips, at what point are you going to get stronger and bigger muscles? At what point are your ligaments, tendons, and joints going to get stronger? And then at what point is it going to be where you're going to forever, you're going to have like a period of diminishing returns? So that means past a certain point, you're not really going to get bigger muscles. You're not really going to get stronger muscles. You're not really going to get stronger tendons, ligaments, joints. Okay. So all of the points, whether it's aesthetics, performance, sense of accomplishment, longevity, you do lose muscle as you get older. So the stronger you are when you start to really age, the longer you're going to stay vital and healthy. Just ask Sylvester Stallone, who's 73 years old. The point I'm trying to make is at what point are you actually going to be injuring yourself more than you to be improving yourself? And I think I've reached this point. Okay. I'm just going to throw out a couple of numbers. I'm doing 3 plates, 315 pounds for 20 reps of barbell squats. Okay. 5 sets of 5 reps with 4 plates for barbell squats. Okay. 5 sets of 5 reps with 5 plates for trap bar deadlifts. 5 sets of 5 reps with 4 plates for weighted dips. I mean, that is a hell of a lot of weight, okay? Since I weigh right now like a pound or two over 200 pounds, 300 pounds is like 1.5 times my body weight. 315 is well over 1.5 times my body weight, and I squat that 20 times, okay? Like I said, 405 is over 2 times my body weight, and I do 5 sets of 5 squats with that. 180 pounds is my old goal body weight, okay, of 180 pounds lean, okay, 4 reps with dips, so that's basically like almost my body weight added to dips. And at what point am I going to stop getting, like I said, bigger, stronger muscles, stronger joints, tendons, and ligaments? At what point I'm just going to start injuring myself? Okay, and taking steps back, also injuring myself, not just in a matter of like losing strength and losing size because I have to take a break to recover, but at what point am I going to start injuring myself in ways that down the road, like this Olympic weightlifter, that I'm going to actually have issues with my back, with my joints, with my knees, with my hips, with my shoulders, my elbows, whatever. that I wouldn't have had if I had just stopped now. So that's basically what I'm trying to say is, I've gotten to a point right now where I am really as strong as I want to be. Now, I've said this in my last couple of videos. My squats, for instance, are not perfect. I do not go down quite to parallel. So I want to go ahead, bring my squats down to real parallel. Then I want to bring my squats down below parallel. Then I want to bring my squats down below parallel, pause for a second and come up with no momentum. Then I want to bring it down for, below parallel, stay there for 2 seconds to really bump up the time under tension. Okay, I do want to improve the way that I do the exercises with the weight I am using now, but I do not want to just add weight. Because like I said, I mean, how many times do you see somebody, not a power lifter, but like world's strongest man competitor lifts, 7, 8, 1,000 pounds, whatever, and literally passes out and can't fucking walk for a month. There are literally, guys that will say that, they'll be like, yeah, I lifted, 1,000 pounds and then I collapsed into, Ted Smith's arms and he caught me before I hit the ground and then I woke up a half hour later. And like, at what point, like, that is not healthy. Now, that is their sport. They go in there knowing that it is their sport. They go in there knowing they're going to fuck themselves up. Okay. They go in there knowing all of that, and that's fine if you make that decision. But I'm not an athlete. I do not compete with anybody at all for anything. And my point is, if I don't look good enough, especially like I said, after I increase my form, make the exercise as hard as I can without adding weight. If my muscles aren't big enough for you, hey, whatever, fine. Follow somebody else, use somebody else as like motivation, role model. If you don't think I'm strong enough, like if I can't defend myself or if I can't do whatever, using my strength, I'm not strong enough. There's a reason why I can't defend myself. It has nothing to do with strength because I'm more than strong enough to defend myself. Okay, all the reasons, like I said, that I'm doing this strength training for. If I at the weights that I'm using right now am not big enough, strong enough, appearance, performance, whatever, that's fine. I'm happy with it. Okay, I'm happy with where I am right now. And after this is also going to go into other directions too. It's not just saving my joints and saving, my body from too much wear and tear. It's also like, how lean do I want to get? Now, I want to lose, some weight. I mean, I'm not fat by any means, but after I do, stay and kind of like stabilize these weights that I'm using, stabilize my strength levels, I do want to slowly go ahead and bring in the calories and get a little bit leaner. Okay. Maybe 10, not quite 15, maybe 10 pounds I'm going to lose. Okay, a couple inches around my waist. And I want to have like really defined abs, like really, good muscle separation. Now, having said that, I don't want to be ripped because like I said, I don't want to be like a bodybuilder who takes, thyroid medication like that he's not prescribed, okay, takes fat burners, takes amphetamines, goes on very low calories, takes diuretics and stops drinking water for like 3 days before a competition, almost dies, has kidney problems, is all fucked up, just so he could look good on the stage, in his opinion, because I don't even think those guys look good. I mean, more power to them if that's their sport, but I personally don't want to look like that for like, 1 day, and then they balloon up and gain 20 pounds afterwards. That is so bad for your body. Okay, the same thing with how much weight I have, how much you weigh. Like, I want to weigh under 200 pounds. Right now, I'm like, 202, 201 and a half, whatever, in the morning when I wake up and weigh myself. Over 200 pounds, I snore. Over 210 pounds, I have sleep apnea. Okay, whether it's fat or muscle. So the point I'm trying to make is, I don't want to get strong to the point that I break down my body. I want to get as strong as I can and stay healthy. I don't want to get any stronger than that. I don't want to get any bigger than a certain point where I just have sleep apnea, where I can't move, where, like I said, if you're a 300-pound bodybuilder, you're the same thing as a 300-pound fat person. I don't care if it's fat or muscle. The fact is, the human body was not meant to weigh 300 pounds, okay? You were not meant to be 3% body fat. And another thing about that is I don't want to starve myself and poison myself with, diuretics and thyroid meds and fat burners and amphetamines and not drink water for 3 days to look good for 1 day. I want to look pretty good my whole life. All year round, 24/7, I'm going to be able to take off my shirt and look pretty good. Now, I'm not going to be as lean as those guys are in that 5 minutes when they're standing on stage, but 24/7, 365, I want to look within, like I said, the top like 5 or 10% of the world. I don't want to like have to do a periodization where I have to train, that I deadlift this huge amount of weight one time and then I have to take 2 weeks off and then, I'm weak again. I want to be like, like I said in one of my other videos, I want to be able to like do my deadlift workout, and then if the next day somebody's like, no, that's bullshit, that's fake plates, go to the gym the day after, the day after I just did trap bar deads or squats or whatever, and do the same weight the day after. I don't want it to be something that I could do like once in my life. I don't want to look good once in my life. I don't want to be strong once in my life. I basically want longevity without injuring myself, without breaking down my body. I want to have, a pretty good amount of leanness 24/7, 365 without having to diet down. And I also want to have a certain amount of muscle mass that's decent without, like I said, just being like that one time out of the year. And I also don't want to be so big, okay, that I'm actually unhealthy. So, like I said, right now, longevity, health, performance, appearance, they're all important. At 45, emphasis on health and longevity. And like I said, I mean, Van Damme was like my height, maybe like a half an inch or an inch shorter, 180 pounds, okay? Bruce Lee was 130 pounds, okay? A lot of these guys out here that were like physical icons were like really, really, really not that big. Frank Zane, probably one of the best bodies in the world from appearance, was like, 180 pounds, 185 pounds, okay, on stage. So the point I'm trying to make is, don't always chase the numbers. It's not like, oh, the bigger I am, the more I weigh, the better I look, the stronger I am, the better I am. At certain point, things kind of slow down, okay? So yes, when you start lifting weights, you do want to get lean. You do want to get big. You do want to get strong. You do want to add muscle. But that's just in the beginning. After a while, like if you're like, let's say 10% body fat, whatever, you got good abs, does it really improve anything? Are you going to look that much better if you cut down a few more percents of body fat, but you lose your strength, you lose your libido, you lose your hormones, you can't sleep, you're in a shit mood all day? Like I said, you lose your strength, for instance. Does it really help to go ahead and, get big to the point that you can't sleep at night because you got sleep apnea? I mean, I've had it and it fucking sucks. And I don't want to have one of these Darth Vader machines where I've got a mask on my face at night just because I want to weigh 220 pounds instead, or 215 pounds instead of, 195 pounds. Like I said, I'm big enough, I'm strong enough, I'm happy enough. So just go ahead and start thinking now. If you're starting out, push the weights, get as strong, big, and as lean as you can. But the stronger, leaner, and bigger you get, kind of keep in the back of your head, what's your goal down the road? What's your goal down the road for, leanness, strength, and size? It kind of, like I said, as you start to progress, kind of keep that, which also helps because now you have like a goal. Right now, for instance, I'm about as strong as I want to get, okay? And I just want to stabilize that. I want to get to the point where it's not like I somehow get through these workouts where it's like, relatively easy to get through these workouts. Okay, just master the weight that I'm using right now. Then I want to get leaner. Okay, I want to maintain my strength and get leaner to a certain point. Now, I'm not going to get ridiculously lean, but I want to get leaner to a point where it's healthy and sustainable. And then after that, I'm as big as I want to get, I'm as strong as I want to get, I'm as lean as I want to get. Then I'll put a whole lot of effort into my business, okay? I'll put a whole lot of effort into maintaining my strength, maintaining my leanness, maintaining my muscle size, but I'll really put my primary emphasis onto, like I said, really building my business, really living my life, really experiencing something, whatever it is that I want to do. Because, as important as fitness is, it's not everything. The reason you want to be big, strong, lean, look good, feel good, health, longevity is because you want to experience the most out of life, okay? So get that handled. It should only take a couple years to reach your personal goals for strength, size, leanness, etc. And then once you've gotten that, use that as a base to improve every other area of your life. Relationships, business, adventures you go on. Just try to maintain what you've got. And like I said, it only takes a couple years. Depending upon where you start, it only takes a couple years to get where you want to be. Anyway, this was a little bit longer than I wanted to get. I'll probably talk about, some more of this periodization in the future. But anyway, I hope you guys understood the point I was trying to make. I hope you guys understand, what I'm trying to say here. Aside from that, I really appreciate everybody who watches these videos. I'm going to be going out, putting a lot more videos out. Love the comments, love answering them, love making videos to answer some of the comments, some of the questions. Keep them coming. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video.